this month we're going to do USB holders that are in the hoop, and I have two sizes available, one for the 5x7 hoop and one for the 4x4 hoop. Here's the ones for the 5x7, and they open up. I have two varieties available. One of them is got the little floral on it, flowers on it, and it can take two USBs. So this one is 5x7, has the flower. Then we have this one, which is a little filigree design, and these were all created in Masterworks or in Creator, Designer's Gallery Creator. And so this one you could actually add more designs to it if you like, and it also has room for two USBs and snaps closed. Has ribbons on there so you can actually tie your USBs to it so they don't go wandering off. And then if you have a 4x4 hoop, and I still have one, I have a few of them that are still 4x4 format, and this will carry one, and it has a snap opening, and here's the floral. So again, has the ribbon, and then like this one is, and then I have one that's the filigree, same thing, but it's 4x4. And I think in the last part of this video, I will show you how I actually added letters to it, or another design to it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just hoop the stabilizer, and then remember the stabilizer I'm using is just a no-show mesh with cutaway, which is a lightweight cutaway stabilizer. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is load our design into the machine, and I'm going to stitch the very first color stop. Okay. And it's going to show you the placement for the USB cover. Notice in the center here, it has stitched two horizontal lines, and what these are the placement guides for your pockets for the USB cover. And I'm going to just take a pencil or a fabric marker, and I'm going to extend those lines out so that I can see them later. Okay, now for this second color stop, I'm going to put the 8" by 3" fabric right sides up, so that it covers all of the stitching. It's going to cover this, cover it up top. You can spray it down if you like, but it's not really necessary. So I'm going to use brown thread, but you would use a neutral thread or a sewing thread in order to hold this down. So let's speed this up a bit. Okay, next we're going to be stitching the design on the front of the USB holder, and this one is going to be the flower. So the first color is green, and I'm just going to stitch that. Again, I'll speed it up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is line up these pockets. So, pull this hoop out a little bit. And see these two lines that we made up here? I'm going to put the fold of the pocket right next to those lines. Okay, and I'll put the other pocket with the fold on the inside here. And I'm going to tape that down with some painter's tape so that they aren't getting caught when the foot goes by. So I'm just going to put these like this, just outside the stitching line. here. Tape that down. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put white back into my needle, or the same color as my background fabric in the needle, which is going to stitch the pockets to the center. I stopped the machine here because what I'm going to do is remove this piece of tape, because it's going to put a line over here showing me a placement line for the ribbon. Okay, now where this line is, I am going to actually overlap that a little bit. And I'm going to put this ribbon here. And I've put about anywhere between an 8 and a 10 inch piece of ribbon. And I'm going to tack it down. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is tuck the ribbon inside the pocket so it won't get caught in any of the stitching. It can go in, just fold it in and tuck it in. There, now it won't get caught in the stitching anywhere. If you like, you can tape it in place. I'm just going to leave it like that. It'll be fine. Okay, and I'm going to remove this other piece of tape. Next, I'm going to take the last 3 by 7 inch piece and lay it on top. And see how it's not touching the line right there? It's doing the same thing on this side too. You can't see it, but on both ends you don't want it to touch, because what I don't want to happen is this is the lining and this is how we're going to turn it. So, and then I'm going to stitch the 8th and last color stop. Okay, it's all finished. So we're going to remove the hoop from the machine. Okay, it's all finished now, so what I'm going to do is remove the fabric from the hoop, and I'm going to trim it all the way around. And I'll do that off camera. Okay, I've trimmed it to about an 1/8 of an inch around the edges of the seam line. I've also left it a little longer right here where the ribbon is, because I really didn't want to cut the end of that ribbon. That'll help it stay in a little easier. And then I'm going to reach through the lining right here. And start pulling it through. This might take a little bit. And sometimes it helps to have a pencil with an eraser on it to help push it through. Pushed all the way through, and notice the pockets are on the wrong side, and that's okay. I'm going to leave it there. Now here I could fuse this down on the ends, but it's not necessary, because actually the ends of this USB holder are going to get caught in the snap set anyway. So now the next thing we do is pull the pockets through. Okay, and see, there's nothing you have to close. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and give this a good press. And then I'll put the snap set, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, now I'm ready to apply the snap set. So here is my snap pliers. And I like these little plastic ones. So this part is going to go on the outside. So I just mark where I want it to go. I'm just going to press it in. Use my this makes a hole through it. Put this in here. sort of push it down a little bit and put one end in. And then you've got the black part. You put the flat part against the black one and then just squish it in. Okay, that's one side. And I'm going to mark where I want it to go. That's easy to do. So here's where this end needs to go. Just make a hole. Flat side to the outside. And these do come in colors. They're actually made for babies, but I like them so much more than the metal ones. They're easier to apply. And now it's ready for a USB. Okay, I've loaded my design into the machine, and I'm going to insert the hoop. And I've go ahead and put a light green thread in the needle and just plain ordinary bobbin thread in the bobbin, because the first thing I'm going to do is do a placement stitch. So stitch number 1. Okay, now these 2 lines right here are indicating the inside edges of the pockets, or the folded lines of the pockets. I just want to extend those lines out with a pencil. This is not going to stitch in, so anything will do. Pencil, felt marker, friction pen, whatever. Okay, so that was the first color stop. Second color stop is to take your main fabric, and I'm just going to lay it over top. Okay, and extends all around, so it's outside of the stitching line all the way around. Now the second color stop is going to tack this down. Now this third color stop is going to be the filigree, which is going to be the background piece. Okay, so we have finished number 3. Number 4 is going to be the tack down for the pockets. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put the folded edge of the pocket right along those lines with the raw edges. You have 3 raw edges at the bottom. Put the top over here. And it would really kind of help if you had some painter's tape. This won't hurt it. In order to tack down your pockets. I'm going to actually put that right there. Right there. Okay. Oh, since I was done using the metallic thread, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return my tension back to normal 4.0, and I'm going to speed my machine back up to its 1,000 stitches per minute. And stitch it down. This is the pockets. Now once I get here, I'm just going to stop and take this piece of tape off because it's going to get in the way of the placement line for the ribbon. Okay, now the next stitch is going to be my tack down for the ribbon. And I think you can see right here is the placement for the ribbon. I don't need that anymore, so I'm just going to place this across and just tape it down so it doesn't shift on me, and stitch color stop number 5, which is the tack down. Okay, now I want to tuck this ribbon in so that it doesn't get caught up in the stitching. So I'm just going to reach inside here and tuck this ribbon in. Keep it down flat if you like. Press it later if it's smushed. You're going to take your 6.5 inch by 3 inch piece, and you want it to come and cover, but not completely cover everything. So see, it's left a gap at the bottom and a gap at the top. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the machine, and I'm going to stitch down the last color stop. I'll hold it down because I have a little bit of bulk in there. Oops, sorry. Okay, I've taken the fabric out of the hoop and I've trimmed it about 1/8, a generous 1/8, a little more than 1/8, not quite 1/4 inch away. And I'm going to also leave a little bit extra room here for the ribbon so I don't cut it. And now we're going to turn it inside out, and we're going to turn it through the lining first. So this is going to have 2 turns, and this is actually the hardest part. Really nice, and you can actually use what these ties are for. You can either tie it to your purse, or my favorite is to simply tie the end of the USB stick to one of these ribbons so it doesn't get separated. Especially the lids, you know, the little tops on them, I'm always losing them. Okay, so now let's do the same one, but let's do it with the small one. So if you have any questions, give us a call at Attic Treasures in Occoquan, Virginia at 703-490-1536, or you can reach me at waltzquilt@yahoo.com if you have any questions. And if you would like a copy of the patterns or the PES files as well as the written instructions for these USB holders, then shoot me an email at waltzquilt@yahoo.com and I'll be happy to send them to you.